All right, the Audibles crew is with us. It's nice to see Zach Elvira all smiley and Eric Sorensen all smiley, the two of them, because they know that the Open is down to four. But I want to start here first with both of you on the hiring of Kenny Dillingham and how it may or has already impacted the high school scene in Arizona in the way of recruiting. Zach, you were at the press conference. Kenny used a line about how he's going to go out and be at Pop Warner games.
Yeah,
And
you know, Kenny just flat out he owned that press conference, first of all. He was passionate, he was emotional, he showed humility, he showed how much he truly loves Arizona State and the Valley and the state of Arizona in general. He knows what it takes to recruit the Valley. Obviously, coming from Chaparral, he's seen the talent that has grown in the state across the entire state. And he wants that talent to stay here and specifically at Arizona State. So I think he's going to attack it hard. I think he's going to recruit the state very heavily, probably the better or best that we've seen Arizona State recruit the state in so long. I think they're going to do a great job. I think they're going to keep a lot of talent in state, which obviously is very important to the success of the Sun Devils.
Eric, you and I have heard this line forever, that we're going to keep our kids at home. And I guess I look at it now differently and feel like that all sounds great. You can be the best recruiter. You may have owned the state of Arizona, but you didn't have the bag of money with NIL attached to it to keep kids here. So to you, is it same old story, prove it to me? Or do you think, no, this is a different era, different time. This is the right guy, the right group?
It's a risky hire for ASU, but it's definitely the right hire. He understands NIL, and that's one of the things that Ray Anderson and Herm Edwards were guilty of not knowing, and honestly, guys, not even really caring. All Ricky Pearsall wanted to do was go play at Arizona State. That's all he ever wanted. He got the scholarship. He was a productive player. Then he's like, "Hey, so what's going on with this NIL?" And they're just like, "Well, I don't know. We're not really sure what's going on." And he said, "Okay, bye." And you have to have someone in place from the top of your leadership pyramid that knows what they're doing. When it comes to the in-state recruiting, guys, we saw it with Todd Graham. He made a lot of promises. He did okay job. He did an okay job recruiting in the state, but he did not one time go to Saguaro and go on campus to visit kids. Not one time. Herm Edwards talked a big game, and then was just like, no, we're going to build our program differently. We're going to go get bigger, stronger East Coast kids. And if the Arizona kids want to come to us, we might just take a look at them. You're not going to have that problem with Kenny Dillingham. And I think we saw it at the press conference on Sunday.
Let's change gears now over to the Open. Zach, the Final Four, you surprised by anything here? What jumps out at you on the Final Four?
I'm not surprised at all. I figured it'd be these four teams in there. The Saguaro Hamilton game was definitely more of a toss-up for me personally, but I had confidence in Chandler. Anytime you give Rick Garrettson a week off heading into the playoffs, I have confidence that team is going to be able to get it done. Liberty's been a juggernaut all season long. Not surprised they're there. Obviously, Saguaro's a very, very dangerous football team right now. They're finally getting back healthy aside from Derek English. JoJo Clark had a monster game. Dejon Hinton came back and had a monster game against Hamilton. John Butler was fantastic. That defense in general, while being super young still, is very, very good. They started a true freshman. Well, I say true freshman. They started a freshman at safety against Hamilton, and he made some plays too. So not really surprised by Saguaro that much. And then Basha, we all kind of figured that Basha and Liberty, I think, were the two givens as far as how they were going, or not how, but they were going to win the game.
Eric, let's switch over to 6A. You saw Pinnacle last week in person. And when you look at 6A down to the semifinals, Pinnacle plays Castile on one side of the bracket. Is Pinnacle the team from what you've seen?
Depends on if they take care of the ball, Brad. I mean, they've really hamstrung themselves with costly penalties and turnovers. And yeah, I did see them last week against Queen Creek, and they got Queen Creek kind of playing their style. They got the lead and made Queen Creek a team that's not built to come back, try to come back. Pinnacle definitely matches up size-wise with Castile, but man, Castile's been so efficient. They've been playing like a one seed. I'm excited to see that matchup just because Castile will get tested by Pinnacle.
Like you mentioned, the talent that Pinnacle has with Deuce Robinson and obviously Miles Libman as well. That against Castile's defense that has been very good in that secondary, especially last week, shutting down Mountain Point's run game. The three-headed monster at running back couldn't really do much, and obviously their passing game was eliminated as well. I'm excited for that matchup. It's going to be really, really good.
Jarius Grimes, remember that name. That kid is something else. All right, guys, good job there. That is AZ Audibles for this week, and we're back with more after this timeout.